That's right, I've got the secret formula and I'm going to share it with you. So just sit down, relax. We're going to get to it. It's 15 of the easiest tips. There's nothing to it. Okay? Hey, y'all. So I don't know if you know this, but about 70% of people really are entirely overwhelmed by all the trends that are out here. I tell you, before you can say new season, the trends have changed again. I think you and I both know that the most important thing is really knowing your personal style, sticking to that, owning it, because once you do that, you feel confident. You don't feel that stress and that anxiety of, am I up to date? Am I on trend? Because you feel good in what you're wearing, and what you're wearing expresses who you are. Am I right or am I right? Of course, I'm right. So let's get into it. I am going to show you here the number of styles that exist. Fashion styles are so varied. If you add to that the fact that you've got your own personal flavor that you add to the style, that means that there are an infinite number of styles that exist. So I don't like being put in a box. I don't want to live in a box. And I don't want to box anybody. So I'm saying all that to say, don't feel obligated to try to fit into a mold, because you are the only person that can be you. So why am I going to talk then about finding your fashion style and how to find it? Because although you don't want to be in a box, it's helpful to have a certain amount of structure so that you can then identify what it is that you like. It's always good to be able to put a name to something so that you know what to call it. Because I think we all know somewhere in there, if you're not, a fashionista or someone that's into all this, or you don't feel confident in being able to pick out outfits, or that you're looking your best when you go out, I think we all want to be able to represent what it is that we want to project to other people, what it is that we see ourselves as when we are looking at ourselves in the world, right? So I'm sure that there are people that you look at and you admire how they look. And some of those people, you're like, oh, I think I could pull that off, or that's something that I think that I like, or that's similar to my style, right? And it's helpful to have a name to it so that as we're navigating, whether it's in our own closets or if we're going to purchase new clothing, that we at least have a framework of where to look and what we're looking for. So that's the benefit to it. So I'm going to get into 15 dynamite. When's the last time you heard that word? 15 dynamite tips that can help you as you're finding your fashion style. And if you're not finding it and you're just refreshing it, these tips will work for you as well. So, numero uno, assessing your wardrobe. This is a big one. I just recently did a video, which I will pop up somewhere up here, where I was talking about decluttering. And one of the first things that I did as I was practicing for the video was I pulled out the items that I have as my favorites that I wear the most. And that's what you need to start with. So as you look at your closet and you want to find out what your fashion style is, the first thing you need to do is to look at those things that you wear the most, that you gravitate to, because those are telling you, that's what I feel comfortable in, that's what I feel confident in, that's what I feel cool in. So that is number one. Number two is creating a style mood board. So you can do this in a number of ways. One is you can go to places like Pinterest, go to, Beyonce's internet. You can go to magazines, whatever it is that you want to do. In this day and age, I would suggest you do it digitally because you can create folders in your photos library where you can just download or screenshot, whatever it may be, and you can just toss them in there, and that can create your virtual mood board. The alternative to that is you go old school, where you're looking at paper copies, magazines, and you can cut those out and create a physical mood board. Whatever it is, and however you decide to do it, it's a good thing to do because what happens over time is that as you go and you look at the mood board, you're going to see certain patterns evolve from that are going to tell you what you like, what you really like, right? And that's why it's a good idea. So that brings us to number three. And this is really identifying the key style elements. So when you're looking at your mood board, you're looking at the favorites from your closet. There's certain things that are going to start to pop out at you. The silhouettes that you like. Me personally, I like oversized blazers. I also like oversized pants, straight leg pants. I like certain color palettes. I like neutrals, and I love of black, as you can see today. The other thing that you're going to be mindful of as you're looking at these things are fabrics. So fabrics can come, as you know, in a lot of varieties. So do you like what I would call traditional fabrics, the cottons, the wools, the linens, or do you like the soft, flowy kind, the satins, the silks? Or do you like what I'll call the ones that are not natural, um, which have a great place as far as functionality inside of wardrobes, but some people tend to stray away from them because those fabrics tend to generate heat, hold odors, etc. But if you take care of them properly, they don't do that. And I'm talking about the polyesters, the poly blends, those kind of things. The other thing to be mindful of is also where you live, right? But we'll get into that some more. The color palette, which is a big one. So, like I said, the traditional stuff are typically neutral colors, but some people like to have neutral colors and pair that with pops of color. Some people are just, I don't like those neutral colors. I'm all about give me the vibrancy, give me all the color. Some people like the neon. Some people like, as we go into the Roy G. Biv, they like to go to the jewel tones. So it varies, right? And I think it's all about what your preference is. So as you're looking in your closet, you're looking at your mood board, these things are going to start to come to you, right? You're going to see a common thread running through these things, and it's just going to identify itself. It's going to say, hey, here I am, your favorite colors, your favorite fabrics, and your favorite silhouettes. So number four, you want to determine your lifestyle needs. And what I mean by that is you want to consider what your daily activities are, whether that's work, social settings, casual settings. You also want to think about your climate. You want to wear things that are very practical. So I was born and raised in the Caribbean in the great island of Barbados. So I'm a Bajan. Today, I live in the United States. I'm in the great state of New Jersey, woo, woo, the Garden State. Shorts work in both places, right? But if I say I want to wear leather shorts with some up to the knee boots, knee high boots, that's going to work here in New Jersey. Would it work in Barbados? It could, but then you have to say, are you crazy? No, you have to say, does it make sense for the climate, for my lifestyle? Now, you can wear anything, anytime, anywhere. It's your life. However, we're going to get into this. You want to be comfortable, you want to be practical, you want to really match your lifestyle. Make it easy for yourself, right? Okay. Number 5, you want to be able to experiment with different looks. So you don't want to be afraid to mix and match different styles. So an example of this is I like minimalism, right? Minimalism is an aesthetic that I have, as well as being polished, being alluring, and those are formal aesthetics. Okay. Then you have things like what we're talking about, fashion styles. And you saw that very, very long list that I shared with you. So I can wear a blazer with matching pants, a pair of mules, and I will toss on a Brooklyn Nets hat, a cap, because I love street style. So I lived in Brooklyn, New York for many years. That's also where I met my fantabulous, sexy, gorgeous, 6'5", bomb diggity husband. And he was born and raised in Brooklyn, and he is very much street style from top to bottom. So we vibe together with our street style. But I'm also someone who likes a classic look, and I appreciate blending those two together. And just like you will see someone in a nice sharp suit and they will toss on a pair of sneakers, a pair of Jordans, or a pair of Sambas, right? It's mixing styles. And I know that those seem pretty tame, but I think it all depends on what styles you mix. You can be as daring as you want, or you can just be as demure and mindful as you want, right? So, something to just mix it up a little. So, that's that one. Okay, so number 6, you want to focus on fit and comfort. So, as you're selecting clothing, you want to think about the fit. And this goes to your preference, right? If you like baggy clothes, that's all well and good. You want it to be baggy, but you don't want it to look sloppy. And if you like structured clothing, you want it to fit. So, what that may mean is when you put on your clothing, it may be a little large in the waist, or it may be a little tight in the bum. And those are things that you just need to keep an eye on, because if you're looking for a structured look, what's going to toss it into the, looking messy side of the equation is if it's not fitted correctly. So that's where the tailor comes into play. And if you don't want to go to a tailor, then you're going to have to do a little bit of extra homework to find the kind of clothing that's going to fit you right the first time. So it's going to be an either or. You're either going to have to find something that fits you all the way, or you're going to have to get something that may be a little larger and get it tailored. Comfort is really one of the key drivers. So, regardless of what your style is, you want to be comfortable in your clothes, because if you're comfortable in your clothes, you're going to be confident in your clothes and you're going to exude that confidence. And when you're moving around the world and people see you, they can see what you're trying to express instead of you're fidgeting with yourself and then you look uncomfortable and it's just not the look. Next up is number 7. And this is a biggie. This is something that I'm doing now. You want to declutter and you want to define. So as you're looking through your closet, right, and you're using your mood board as a source, that's going to help you to know, what is it that I'm wearing, okay, in my closet. And if you're not wearing it, and I'll pop up the video that I just did on this, it's a great resource for how you really figure out what to declutter. But as you're making those decisions about what's going to go, right, because you're not wearing it, or you no longer like it doesn't fit, it's not comfortable, it may be tattered now, or whatever it is, right? The clothes that you do love, that you do wear, that bring you joy, that are speaking to your style, those are the ones that you want to make sure that as you're looking at gaps, because there may be things that you really love, but they're not in your closet, those are the ones that you're going to shop for, right? So it all comes together slowly but surely. Next, investing in timeless pieces. So as you're starting to have your style evolve and you're buying pieces, you want to make sure that they're not the type that you get 1 or 2 wears and then it's kaputski, or you put it in the washing machine and it loses its color, it loses its shape, and it's like you're just throwing money away. If you have it like that, more power to you. But the wise thing to do, and I'm not casting any aspersions here, but maybe I am. The wise thing to do is to invest in a piece that's going to last so that you get your cost per wear. So you get enough wears out of the garment that it pays for itself. Okay? So even things as simple as white t-shirts, you don't want to get the ones where it's practically see-through if that's not the look you're going for. You want it to have the right weight. You want, if you're doing a crew neck, you want that crew neck to be nice and solid. You want it to maintain shape after you clean it. You want it to sit on your body. You want it to be a fabric that doesn't look wrinkled and messy unless that's the look that you're going for. If you're going for grunge, that may work. But if you're going for practically any other style, you want that white t-shirt to look clean. You want it to look like it's freshly laundered and pressed. You want it to be white without stains, etc., etc. Okay, so that's that tip. The next is, and this is a big one, is you want to consider your body shape. So there's a whole slew of resources out there on the different types of body shape. If I'm talking here about females, we know about the inverted triangle, right? Where you're bigger up here and narrow at the bottom. You have a shape like mine where it's rectangular, where it's basically your top and your bottom are pretty much equal and you're straight up and down. Then you have the hourglass, the ones that we used to see in all the cartoons, the va-va voom, right? And then you have the pear shape, which is where you're smaller up top and then you're larger down bottom. And then you have the apple, where your middle is larger than your top and your bottom. So those are really the five major shapes. They may be the only shapes, I'm not sure, but those are the major ones, right? And when you're dressing those shapes, there's certain, I would say, guiding principles that you can refer to as far as the best type of garments and silhouettes to suit those shapes. At the end of the day, you can wear whatever you want, but it's always best for you to really think about your shape and how you want to dress it. And as long as you feel comfortable in it, then those are the silhouettes and the shapes that are going to suit your body type. So, number 10, you want to define your signature look. So, in previous videos, I've talked about your outfit formulas, and that's really what this is talking about. So, your signature looks are going to be outfit formulas and outfits that really tie back to what your aesthetics are and what your fashion styles are. My three words, right? My three magic words that really describe my style are minimalist, alluring, and polished. So in my closet, pretty much everything will be tying back to that once I finish this decluttering, which is kicking my tuchus, right? So if you don't know and you're new here, I have about 500 pieces that I am decluttering, and I am trying to get down to somewhere around 150, maybe 200, because I need clothes, right? I do styling videos, etc. So I may have more pieces than I would say the average woman. And I have less pieces than what I would call real, true fashionistas. But I'm doing a massive declutter. I am now in week 3 of 8, and it is really a lot of work. Um, but it is rewarding because I'm getting closer and closer to that magic wardrobe capsule that I'm striving for. And along the way, I'm also digitizing my wardrobe. And I started doing that, and I'll actually put up some of the items that I've digitized. In my previous video, I showed how I went through all my blazers, and here are my blazers that I digitized. I tell you, when I go to this thing and I can just, boop, 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 I can't wait till this is all done. I am so excited. But I say all that to say, when you have your 3 words, you've identified your fashion style, it makes it so much easier to have your signature look. And that's what people will know you by. Okay? And what you'll know yourself by. So, next up, number 11, stay true to yourself. What this is you really need to not feel pressured by fashion trends. And as you're looking for inspiration out there, for your mood boards and your experimentation, don't feel compelled when you see folks, on these internets, on these YouTubes, or people like me even, uh, to go out and buy what you see these people influencing, right? Just because they're wearing something that's cool, you don't have to click and buy it, because it may not be your style. And even more so, you don't need to overconsume. What you need to do is if you see something that you really like, put that in your wish list. Noodle over it. Give it a minute. Let it marinate. And you determine what the time period is, but you go back to it after a time and you say to yourself, self, is this something that you actually still want? Do you need it? Does it fill a gap in your current closet? And if it doesn't fill a gap, then you ask the question of, is this one of my experimentation items? Meaning you're exploring, you're looking at a new style because it may be something that you may want to get into. Ask yourself these questions before you click and purchase, because a lot of times we'll click, we'll purchase, it comes, we try it on, it's like, oh, this looks good. And then 6 months later, you haven't worn it. You may still even have the tags on it. And then you have to say to yourself, self, shame on you. Next up. All right, this is a biggie. And this goes back to those same people that you're looking at, right? And I look at them, I get inspired by them and their style. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, there are probably about a dozen people that I look at on the regular because I really appreciate their style. I appreciate the information that they provide, and I get great ideas from them around how to elevate my style. So I am not knocking any of this, but here's what I want to say. You want to seek inspiration, but you don't want to imitate. Okay? So if you see someone who's wearing a dynamite outfit and you're like, wow, that's my style, I love it. You don't need to buy that exact outfit. You can be inspired by it. And there are a couple of things I want to say about that said, meaning you don't need that exact shirt, that exact pants, right? You can go buy it in your own color palette. And if there are things about it that will look different on your body shape, you can buy it in a similar type of look, but in silhouettes that suit you, or in colors that suit you, or in fabrics that suit you, right? The other thing is you may be looking at someone where the items that they're wearing, let's say in total, are probably about $9,000. If you have $9,000 to spend on one outfit, go for it if that's what you're looking for. However, you can look at that outfit, be inspired by it, and then you can find similar items in a price point that makes sense for your wallet, right? And for your financial situation. We're not here to just throw money away because we're not here to keep up with trends, and we're not here to keep up with the Joneses. We're just here to be our authentic selves and to suit our style and our pockets. Okay? Next up, great tip for your personal style and finding your fashion style is number 13. Document your outfits. What do I mean by that? And this may sound quirky, but you know what? It's not. It certainly isn't for me, but then again, I style clothing and I make shorts and reels with them. However, A great idea is when you're dressed, we all have these cell phones, right? Come on now. Just whip out the phone, go in front of the mirror, a full length mirror where you can see your outfit from top to bottom. Take a selfie or take a front facing or whatever you call it. However you do it, just take that pic and save them. Because when you have a great outfit, capture it. Over time, what it's going to show you are the outfits that are your favorites and the outfits that you like to style. And you will start to see yourself and how others see you evolve out of that. It's a great thing. Let me tell you, these mobile devices, they can be a problem, especially for people that don't know how to put them down and live their real life. However, there's so many benefits to it. There's so many things that it can help you with. And one of them is finding your style. Take that pic, put them in a folder in your photos library, and just have your outfits of the day, right? And before you know it, your style will just show itself to you. Great tip. Next up is shopping with intention. All right. So this is where you're not doing those impulse purchases. You're not being influenced. I don't know about you guys, but when my sons were in school, there was this saying, and they would say it all the time to me, above the influence. You know, they'd say that about things like smoking, drinking, um, being a follower versus a leader. And I think that all of that also applies to shopping with intention. So when you go into the stores, right, and you enter a store and they've got all the new stuff as soon as you come in, and then you're going through and it's like, it's all saying, oh, try me on. Oh, this looks so good. It's on the mannequin. The mannequin weighs about 2 pounds. Listen, to all of you that are 2 pounds, that's all well and good. And I am not saying that there's any issue with that. I'm a big girl, okay? And when I'm shopping, I know I have a full awareness that what I'm seeing on these mannequins are not going to look the same on me. So I'm very mindful of that. And then online, when you're looking at the folks that are wearing these clothes, you also have to think about what size is the model that's showcasing the garments. Now, the fortunate thing is, in this day and age, at least the forward-thinking stores, online stores and companies, they have models that will be small, medium, and large, so that you get a better perspective of how the clothes will look on you. But they can't account for everyone. So even though they may be small, medium, and large models, they're not necessarily petite or, super tall. They can't do every body type, body shape. So you really have to be mindful when you're shopping that that stuff needs to be tried on, or you need to think and visualize, what is this silhouette going to look like on me? What is this color going to look like on me? How is this fabric going to lay on me? The other thing is, when you're shopping, similar to when you're going for groceries, right? You don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. You know why? Because you're going to come back with more food in your cart than you cared to buy. because you're hungry. So when you're going out to shop for the clothing, you don't want to be mystified with all the bells and whistles and all the new items that they put out because, oh, that wasn't there when I came here before. Or if you log online and you're doing online shopping, ooh, and you see how they have the category that says new. And you go check new and you're like, ooh, isn't this pretty? And before you know it, it's in your cart, it's bought, and guess what? 6 months later, shop with intention. So as you're looking at your closet, think about it. Does it fit into my fashion style? Does it fit into my 3 words that describe my aesthetic? Okay. Does it fill a gap that I currently have in my closet? Meaning there's something that I need, right? I had to get rid of XYZ because it no longer fit, or I got rid of XYZ because I'm just flat out tired of it. I've worn it to death. I want something new to replace that, right? So it's filling a gap. Or there's a style that I've just really been, feels like it's something that I just want to get into, right? And you're saying to yourself, I really want to experiment with that. Let me just try 1 or 2 pieces to see if I really like it. So that's what you call shopping with intention. That way you don't fill your closet back up if you've decluttered, or if you need to declutter, you're not putting more on top of all the stuff that you're currently not wearing. Last but not least, be patient and be flexible. So you're finding your style, okay? And you're figuring it out. It takes time. It really does. So once you start looking in your closet and you've got your mood board and you're looking at, Pinterest, you're looking at creators or whomever inspires you. It could be your teacher, it could be a parent. Let me tell you, one of my biggest inspirations is my mom. My mom, the way that she dresses, she is one of those ladies that when she walks in her room, they're all looking because she's just, she's got a lot of swagger. She's bad, right? So your inspiration can really come from anywhere. So you have to be patient because if you don't know what it is, you're going to be trying certain things, and certain things you're going to try it and you're not going to like it. And then for a time, you're going to hold on to those clothes because you're going to have a certain guilt about getting rid of them because you just spent money on them, right? And you don't want that money that you shelled out to be a waste. So it's going to take time. So just be patient. But I think that these 15 tips will be helpful. And I think that there's a way to go about it systematically. There's a process, and you just have to go through it. Okay? So, with that, what I'd like to know is if you've ever tried any of these things, or if these tips have been helpful. If you're going to try them, I hope that you do. And if you do, let me know. I really appreciate you if you've gotten this far. If you're one of the viewers that I have, the many viewers, my growing viewers, and thank you so much to all of you that are watching, and for all of you that have subscribed, and for all of you that are new here. I appreciate you. I will see you in the next one. Bye.